Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to roast your own coffee at home in a cast iron pan. It's simple and it makes a great cup of coffee. You only need a few things: cast iron pan, stove to cook it on, some green coffee beans, colander to dump the coffee in when you're done, and a spoon to stir it. Pot holders are handy too to get the pan off the stove. So let's get started. Okay, you need to get the pan good and hot before you start, which ours is. I'm going to make enough coffee for about a quart jar. Once you get it in there, you need to stir it nearly constantly. If you don't stir it, it'll start to burn on one side. Now you can get this coffee from your local coffee roasting company or online. We get ours online. eBay is a real good place to get it. This is organic coffee. We always buy organic, and it was about $5 a pound. Now the reason I'm doing this outside is because it really starts to smoke after a while. You can do this inside if you don't mind the smoke. I've just been sent outside to do it from now on. Okay, the coffee is now starting to pop a little. They call that cracking. You'll hear about the first crack and the second crack, but with this method it just cracks until it's done. We like a nice dark roast because we drink espressos a lot. So I need to get this coffee almost dark is I want it, and then stop because it continues roasting once it's out of the pan for a little bit. If you like a lighter roast, you just have to take it out sooner. If you leave it in too long, you're going to be drinking, it tastes like charcoal. Believe me, I know. You can see it's starting to smoke now. And we'll check back in a couple minutes when it's a little further along. I'm going to show you what it looks like so far. We're not even close to being there, but you can see how there's some cooking on parts of the beans and still green on the others. That's why we have to keep on stirring it. Let's get it back on. Okay, this is about a minute later. You can see it's not really green anymore. We're kind of brown and tan. So we're getting a little further along, and we're not too far from a real light roast. But it's not there yet. Now if you like a real light roast, you're almost there when you're at this point. You've got to go a little bit further, then take it out and let it cool. That's way too light for me though. Okay, you can hear it's cracking pretty good and smoking a lot more now. It means it's getting closer to being done. It gets harder to check at this point because it's hard to see through the smoke. You have to take out little bits and put them back in. It starts roasting really fast about now. It really sort of takes off. You have to watch it real close and keep checking it. This is a fine roast for someone who likes it a little lighter. That's done for most people. But we still like ours a little darker than that. I'm going to take it off though when some of that brown is still in the coffee. It's not quite that much. I think that's done for us. Now you can hear it still popping, so it's still roasting. I agitate it some to try and cool it off a little. I use the colander because of the holes in the sides to help cool it. Living next to the ocean helps too. If you want it to cool quicker, you can use 2 colanders. But that's our coffee. If you can see it through the smoke, that's what we end up with. Beautifully roasted coffee. So I'm just going to let this cool, and then I'll put it in a quart jar, and I'm going to roast another batch, which I won't bore you with. But I'm going to roast some decaf after this, because sometimes we like a little decaf in our coffee, and you'd be amazed that decaf actually tastes good roasted like this. And there's our roasted coffee. It took about 9 minutes to roast it to this point. And you can see that this coffee is almost doubled in size from the green coffee. So take that into account when you're roasting, that it is going to expand. I think the only thing left to do now is have a cup. Okay, we've got our coffee ground. Fill it up. Today, I'm going to be using my Tray Chic Ooh La La pink cup. I know that's kind of full for an espresso, but I just can't help but to fill it up. That's good. So good there's even a heart on top after you take your first sip. Well, I hope you try that at home, because it makes a great cup of coffee, and thanks for watching.